Hello, boys and girls. I hope you are having a phenomenal summer so far. There is no doubt all of the charm was in Baltimore this last weekend, and the Arsenal America group are having an absolute blast. Here we go.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.
Welcome, boys and girls. Hope everyone is having a great summer. It is July and it's pre-season time. The Arsenal are on tour in America, and I am so happy to be joined by the magic of the man and his group that put together an amazing event in Baltimore. Mr. Mike Kavanagh from Charm City Gooners. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me, Sophie. It's fun to be here. Thank you.
No, you guys have done a tremendous job, and it's just been a very special event. And what I wanted to ask you though first was how and why the Arsenal. Before we get stuck into the glorious kind of weekend that was,
Sure.
Tell us.
Sure. So my Arsenal history starts in the late 90s, probably right around when Arsenal came. I was actually working in a bookstore, and I had discovered High Fidelity by Nick Hornby.
Oh my gosh.
And so I devoured that, loved that book. And the only other book that he had written at the time that I could find was Fever Pitch. And I mean, I knew about soccer/football, but I didn't know anything specifically about any of the clubs or anything like that. So I started reading this book, and being a sports fan growing up, of course, it resonated with me. When I finished the book, my girlfriend at the time, she read it because I was so enamored with it, and she couldn't understand why I would decide to choose to follow Arsenal. She's like, I would have gone screaming at any other direction after reading that book. It was so depressing. But for me, it definitely resonated. It definitely hit right into the heart of being a fan. And I was hooked. And it just, in a sort of strange case of synchronicity, a friend of mine had been studying abroad in London and came back talking Arsenal this, Arsenal that. And that was right after the first double under Wenger. So it was perfect timing for me to get involved. And so I've been hooked with Arsenal ever since. It was tough going at the beginning to be able to follow because you couldn't, the matches weren't on TV very easily, or, and the internet was sort of just in its infancy as far as being able to follow. But I did what I could. I was able to listen to some matches. I lived just outside of Wilmington, Delaware at the time, so I'm not far from Philadelphia. So I would drive up to Philadelphia and pay my $20 to get in and watch matches on the satellite stream that they would have at the bar there. And then the next thing you know, I'm getting involved with Arsenal America in the early 2000s. And in 2004, I actually became the president of Arsenal America after the founder, Rick Liebling, had decided to step away. So yeah, I've been involved with Arsenal and Arsenal America and supporters groups in the Northeast for decades now.
That's amazing, and I love that story. And Arsenal America really just do a phenomenal job. I think a lot of my friends from the UK are writing to me right now because they're like, wow, I mean, this group is absolutely legit. And hold on one second. I'm going to bring Simon in as well.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah.
There he is.
Simon.
Hi, guys. I'm sorry I'm late. Technical difficulties.
No worries. How are you?
I'm well. How are you, Sophie?
Yeah, I'm very well. I'm very good, thank you. Simon, I was just asking Mike about why Arsenal, how he fell in love with them. And before we kind of get to the event real quick, maybe you can share real quick your story as well in terms of why the Gunners. How did you become a Gooner?
My story, I think, is pretty standard for somebody in the States. I grew up playing soccer. I didn't have a Prem team. A good friend studied abroad in London in the mid-90s and came back with a scarf. This is the Georgia Graham years, and said, you got to follow this team. They're right up your alley. A year or so later, they changed their playing style completely, but I was hooked. I followed how I could. The internet was kind of in its infancy. Couldn't stream a lot of matches, but would get results. And then around 2000, 2001, you started to see them more in the States. I believe they were on Setanta or something else. And I would go to pubs and watch them. Yeah.
I had one of those Setanta boxes where you could, like, the first
Totally.
streaming. Yeah.
I would go to pubs in the DC area and watch them, and I was hooked, and I really, really started to follow them in 2002, 2003. So before the Invincibles year, and the rest is history.
Absolutely brilliant. Love it. Okay, so we're going to get to the event. I know we have a short time because you guys are at work, and it was just brilliant. I was so proud. I've been to a lot of the Arsenal tour stuff. Unfortunately, due to family reasons, I couldn't make it to Baltimore or Orlando this season. Like Laurie Laker, I had a little FOMO myself. There's no doubt about that. But before you guys tell us about the event, what it meant to you, what it meant to Baltimore. And I saw an article in the Baltimore Sun as well about everything. And you guys should be really proud. But here's someone who has a message for you who's also very proud of you. Here we go.
Baltimore Arsenal, Baltimore Gooners, it's Kevin Campbell here. Just gonna say what a fantastic job you guys have done on the Arsenal tour, looking after everybody, making sure everybody is happy, healthy, and supporting the Gooners. Thank you so much, everyone. I can't be there, obviously, but listen, I get it along the wire. What a fantastic job you've done. So well done. And all respect from everybody on the Highbury squad and myself, Kev Campbell. Look after Sophie when she's on. Take care of her. She is special. You know that, don't you? So anyway, look after yourself, everybody. And I'm sure we'll see each other or speak very soon. Take good care, everyone. Lots of love. Baltimore Gooners, Kev Campbell. Bye.
Over to you guys on that one.
Oh, well, that's brilliant to get some shout outs from Super Kev like that. I mean, yeah, that's great.
Don't you love how he lets us know that he's like, "Hi, I'm Kev Campbell." I'm like, yeah,
like we know. Yeah.
Thanks for the intro. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
So he, like many Gooners around the world, are really proud of what they've seen, the images that they've seen, of course, over the last few days. Talk us through it, guys. Why Baltimore? How did it come to be? You guys look like you were having way too much fun here. Our Ray Parler, of course, did his bit as well. These scenes in the stadium, absolutely unbelievable. I love this as well. So talk us through it a little bit, just the two of you.
Sure. So I got the call probably around St. Patrick's Day that this would possibly be happening. So March. And I remember it was the middle of the workday, of course. And I remember calling Simon and said, "Are you sitting down?" And he said, "Why are you being so dramatic?" And I said, "Sit down." And he said, "Well, okay, what's going on?" And I said, "The Arsenal are coming to our city in July. This is happening." And he's like, "Okay, I'm glad you told me to sit down because it's the weight of this, like the idea that they are coming to Baltimore. You know, Baltimore has a little bit of a chip on its shoulder. You know, sometimes it gets a little bit of a rough reputation around the world. But it's an amazing football culture here in Baltimore. There's a lot of grassroots and just a lot of interest in the game. And so for the club to recognize that, and also it felt like a little bit of validation for all the work that we've been doing since we started Charm City Gooners over a decade ago, that, hey, this is something that, there's value here. And so it quickly became an opportunity for us to show that gratitude, but also to say, okay, well, we've got to step it up. The club chose us for a reason. Let's make sure that we rise to the occasion.
Love that. And Simon, it seems like you guys totally did rise to the occasion. And having been in the entertainment industry for a long time, organizing premieres and things like that, it is not easy to organize these events. And you guys are also doing it of your own free will and time, which makes it even more special and shows the passion and the love and the true kind of connection with the club, doesn't it? And talk me through the events, what you did. There was a Gooners versus Cancer event. I just put a picture up of Magic, but there was so much stuff going on. Plus you guys got to meet the players and some key informers and influencers and writers and journalists that came from the UK, Simon?
It was, I mean, as Mike said, Sophie, it was such a tremendous honor. I did, when he first said, "Are you sitting down?" I was afraid he was going to deliver me bad news. It came from out of the blue, and I thought I was going to fall over, quite literally. And once I caught my breath and realized that Mike wasn't dying, I immediately felt the weight. I mean, are you sitting down? That's the kind of something you say.
It is.
Yes,
it's not good, is it?
It is. Yeah.
So next time, buddy, delivery, change it. But I immediately felt the weight of honor, of privilege, but also of expectation, and knowing full well that because Mike and I are not Baltimore natives, but we both have made it our adopted hometown.
That's true.
I have a tattoo of the city on my arm. Also a tattoo of the Gunners on my arm. So to combine the things that we love so much and being the runners of this group, we've worked really hard, and COVID made it really difficult for us to be at every match and to stay connected with our people and to realize that we were going to be back, but we were going to be back with the Arsenal in Baltimore.
Yeah.
It just raised the stakes so much, Sophie, and we were so determined to do a good job. And there were some hiccups along the way. The club was fantastic, but information wasn't always as forthcoming as we would like. We had some internal challenges, but what we ended up on were 3 or 4 really great events. We did a Gooners versus Cancer podcast, which was preceded by trivia at our home. There it is. There's Mike on the far left at our home, Abbey Burger Bistro.
It's dudes everywhere.
Yeah.
Stu, James McNicholas, Mike Feinberg. And we immediately knew, I won't out Mike Feinberg too much, but I think he was a little worried that people wouldn't come. And when I walked into the Abbey at about 7:45 last Thursday night, and it was packed to the gills, that's when I knew that something really special was about to happen.
Yes.
And so
you guys raised a lot of money as well.
Yeah, we sure did. It was great. It was great.
For that charity and for our local charity, the Craig Willinger Fund, which sponsors kids and young adults recovering from cancer to the soccer match of their dreams. They've been to the Emirates a couple times as well, Sophie. The outpouring of love and affection, of generosity that we saw all weekend. Friday, Mike and I got to meet William Saliba and Emil Smith Rowe, along with the other board members at their hotel. We got the private event with Ray and Gunnersaurus and Mark Brindle and so many people from the club. Yeah, that's me, Ray's pointing to. I must have said something real funny.
I'm sure you did.
And then Saturday, I mean, Mike can talk to you more about the block party and everything that it went into planning with our partners at Abbey Burger Bistro. But it was just great event. Take a breath. Oh God, what's coming next? Are we going to nail it? Great event. Take a breath. And I will tell you, Sophie, just the walking into M&T Bank Stadium at 5:30 on Saturday and knowing that our bit was done and we had,
the relief.
I mean, the show must go on, and our show was over now, and we finally just got to enjoy the game as fans. And I think for both Mike, who you've seen the pic, I don't know if you've seen the smoke bomb picture with him, it's tremendous. But me, I got the picture that you just showed of us at the stadium. That's my family with me on the left.
Oh,
Mike
one,
is
this
one
or
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's my wife and my son and my father-in-law. And my mom is
It's
somewhere.
amazing.
Maybe she's hiding behind the banner. We got to enjoy it as fans and not event planners, and just the memories of it will stay with me for the rest of my life.
That's amazing. And Mike, we only just have a few minutes. I know you guys, look, this is what I want you guys to know, Gooners around the world. These guys are actually back at work, right? They took time off from their jobs to do this, and they're taking their break and they're coming on the show to talk about this. And this is what Arsenal America is all about: the passion, the love, and putting their time in. And so many of you do. So before I let you go, I've got to find out, you got to give me an insider perspective, but your favorite moments. What were your favorite moments? Simon talked about a good few things, but what were your personal favorite bits?
So I think going back to what Simon said about before the event on Thursday evening, Mike was, we're going to have this panel of 4 or 5 people. I don't want to be talking to 4 or 5 people. He was nervous. And so, I think he was nervous that it was going to be Thursday and not Friday, because we thought, most people will probably be coming in on Friday before the match on Saturday. and to have that place packed like an FA Cup final, packed wall to wall people. It was incredible. And so I was really grateful to the local, Charm City Gooners, people who had come in early. They saw that we were trying to promote this, and they knew that it was for a good cause. And so that was really special. And then on Friday, Ray Parler could just pose for a picture and say thanks and move on. But that's not who he is. And that's why he is so good at what he does for the club now. He takes the time, and yeah, I know everybody wants to have a shot or a drink with Ray, but to take
and we did.
Oh, well, of course we did. Well, absolutely we did. Maybe perhaps more than one. But the idea that he takes the time to chat with you. I had a friend from Philadelphia who was trying to be too cool for school. Oh, I don't need to meet Ray. I don't need to meet Ray. Finally, I got him up there. Half an hour, one-on-one with Ray Parler, just chatting and having a drink. And that's what's so special about these events and this club. And it sort of reinforces that connection that we have and the desire to continue to put so much of our energy and love and passion into this thing that we've built, whether it be here locally or nationally or internationally, and that connection that we have back to London.
Yeah. Amazing. Simon, your favorite bit? You've talked about, you kind of encapsulated it a minute ago, but your absolute favorite bit and moment. Was it the game? Was it the events? What was it? Just the fact that you can look back on this, like you said. What's your one bit? If you had to pick one.
Sophie, it's so hard to pick. I would say I'm gonna pick a draw. I'm gonna tie, and I know you said only pick one. Seeing and hearing from the collection of Gooners from across the country, across the world, the block party, and just having them say how much they love the city, how much they appreciate what we've done, could warm me for the rest of my life.
Absolutely.
I would say my favorite bit, though, is getting to work with Mark Brindle and Tiffany Campbell. Mark did something very special for my son who had to miss the player signing with
Tiffany,
Ramsdale and Ben White and Sambi on Thursday. We had to leave early. When I told Mark that, he arranged for something very, very special to happen for my son. Mark didn't have to do that. He's a busy man. He's got a lot going on. And he took the time to introduce himself to my son, my 10-year-old. And he did something very special for him, and I will never forget it. So It's just an example, like we're saying, of the warmth and the connection. And now these people that I had never met before in my life, they're now my family. And that's what's out for me the most.
Can I just say, too, that I think the Arsenal America group are the reason why Mark is still at the club. I honestly, you guys went out on a limb for him, but he's gone out on a limb for you. He's a very special person, isn't he?
He absolutely is. He absolutely is. And I remember the days of Jill Smith and how wonderful she was. And, everybody was worried that, oh, she's leaving. And for Mark to have come in, and Mark is just as wonderful. And the connection there that he's built with all of us here in America is truly special. And I think that love goes both ways, like you're saying, right? The fact that we were able to convince Arsenal that he was somebody that was needed. And he absolutely is, right? So we were absolutely right.
I told Tiffany, Sophie, that Mark has to go on every tour, and if we have to crowdfund it to make it,
definitely.
He also told us that he also told us when we come over from London that we were sitting outside at the team's hotel, and he said, we were talking about seafood and crabs. He's like, oh, when you come over to London for the next match, you got to get proper London seafood. So he's offered to take us to dinner. So nice. I'm now inviting you and Kev to that dinner if that happens.
Yeah. I'll be there with bells on for sure. Okay, I know you guys have to go back to work.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Before we do, in a 30-second nutshell, by the way, hello, right? Bonjour. Yeah. Bonjour, Jesus.
Bought my new away kit today with his name and number on the back.
Nice.
Absolutely, I did.
Hello, look at this shot, guys.
It's so slick.
Look at those. The Brazilian connection.
I love those pictures. Were from Baltimore. Yeah.
Yes.
Love it.
Brilliant stuff. All right, where do the Arsenal finish in the Premier League before I let you guys go?
Oh, I'm going bold. I'm saying at least third.
At least third. Like it. Optimistic.
Yeah.
I'm an attorney by job and cautious by nature, Sophie. I think top four, and I think we're gonna pip. You know who?
Well, that's where I'm at
yes.
third. Yeah.
All right. Get in there. All right. Real quick. Your personal email tagged, handles, Twitter.
Yeah.
Let everyone know real quick so they can find you.
It's Grateful Gooner. It combines my two great loves besides my wife. It's Grateful Dead and Arsenal. So it's Grateful Gooner. GratefulGooner.
Excellent.
Nice.
And Simon?
Nice recovery, Mike. It's
Heather hears this, she'd kill me if I didn't squeeze that in.
my personal one is at SJ Torres, SJTORRES, and the number 21, SJ Torres 21. And our group's handle is Charm City Gooner, all one word. We didn't have enough characters to get the S.
Do I have the S wrong? Oh,
no, it's not your fault. That makes sense. It should be.
I failed you. No,
it's Twitter who failed us. No, Twitter failed us by not letting us have that S. It was one too many characters.
Damn that Twitter, for sure. All right. Well, listen, I look forward to having you guys on the show this season. That would be nice to get you guys back. And by the way, you and the bearded Gooner have to be separated at birth. There's just,
I know. We ran into each other and we were comparing beards over the weekend.
You may win on that one, Mike.
My son asked me why Mr. Mike changed his shirt, Sophie, and I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, yeah, he's right there.
That's funny.
He had the backward basketball bat.
Well, thanks for taking your work break to hang out with me. I so appreciate it. And from all the Gooners around the world, and especially the Highbury Squad and Super Kev as well, well done. You should be so proud of yourselves. We're so proud of you. You did an epic job and memories for a lifetime, like you said. Mike and Simon, thanks so much for hanging out with me on the Highbury Squad today. Okay.
It was a pleasure.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Mind the gap between the train and the platform. Please stand clear of the discussion doors. The next stop is Highbury Squad.